Tracy Cole. I am thankful for the opportunity to share my life and journey to leadership with you. I was born on October 19th to Ralph and Joyce Cole. After 6 years of marriage and a strong desire to have a child, they were thankful to welcome me to the world. I remained an only child for 6 years. Then my brother, Ralph Jr., was born, and 7 years later, my sister Jerry was born. After my sister's birth, our family was complete. Over the years, my parents worked hard to create a loving, safe, and nurturing environment for my siblings and me. We lived in this home in Edenton, North Carolina. Edenton is a small community in northeastern North Carolina that is rich in history. As a family, there were 3 prongs that guided our living and heavily influenced my leadership journey: faith, family, and education. This is a copy of the first Bible that my father ever gave me. He gave it to me on May 6, 1976. I was not quite 3 years old. Within the Bible, my father wrote in green, "To Tracy, from Dad, 5/6/76. I love you. Remember God's Word." Below my dad's message, I tried to copy his writing. As a 3-year-old, I was eager to read and write. Further, I was and continue to be a daddy's girl. The Bible, our deep faith in God, and all the wisdom that my parents have instilled in me will always remain close to my heart and have helped to mold me into the lady that I am today. The second prong that guides our family is our love for family. This is a photo of my grandparents. My paternal grandmother, Mrs. Josephine Cole Butts, is on the left. My maternal grandparents, Mr. Willie and Ms. Rosetta Boone, are on the right. My grandparents love their children and grandchildren. I know that it is their prayers that have continued to cover me through the years. The third prong that guides our family is education. My parents placed a heavy emphasis on the importance of obtaining a sound education and varied experiences. My parents led by example. They both earned bachelor's degrees and master's degrees and educational specialist degrees. My father worked in K-12 education for 37 years. He served as a principal for 27 of those years. My mother was an elementary teacher for 32 years. After retiring from the K-12 setting, they worked in a higher education for 10 more years. As a result of their efforts, my siblings and I have all obtained college degrees. My parents and I encouraged us to read. This is the photo of the first book that I read. It is entitled Black Witch, What Do You See? I was so excited to learn to read. In fact, I read this book over and over. I know that my parents probably got tired of hearing me read. However, they cheered me on each time I read it to them. Along with reading, they stressed the importance of learning through travel. Whether seeing the sights and sounds of Chicago, watching the changing of the guard in London, looking at the breathtaking view of the Gayhead Cliffs at Martha's Vineyard, or exploring Harrison's Cave in Barbados, my parents encouraged me to appreciate the world and its people. I graduated from John A. Holmes High School in Edenton, North Carolina. I accepted the North Carolina Teaching Fellow Scholarship and attended UNC Greensboro. I majored in elementary education and returned to Edenton to teach after graduation. During my last year of teaching, I met Michael Williams, who lived in Greenville, North Carolina. At the time that we met, I also applied for the North Carolina Principal Fellow Scholarship. I received the scholarship to ECU. Michael and I married. Life was going to be perfect. Unfortunately, the marriage did not last. I was devastated because I did not get married to get divorced. The road was tough. However, I was surrounded by family, church members, and community members who loved and encouraged me. One community member, Monza Sadrow, the owner of Monza's Extra Special, reminded me that though I went through a tough experience, that I was still beautiful, smart, and an extra special girl. Since 2006, I've been shopping at Extra Special and in my spare time have modeled clothes for curvy women for local fashion shows and publications. My journey to education and leadership has taken some interesting turns. I've been a middle school AP, an elementary principal, a middle school principal, a middle school director, and a human resources director. All these varied administrative experiences have helped to prepare me for my current role as the principal of ECU's lab school. In the lab school, I can draw upon both building level and district level experiences to lead this initiative. As I reflect on my journey, I am grateful. There have been mountaintop and valley experiences. However, they have all worked together for my good. While I do not know what the future holds, I do know who holds my future. So I am and will continue to be blessed.